Welcome to the Chronically Online Podcast. This is episode 9, and my name is George. This is
James.
We're marketing experts, apparently. And we talk about memes and marketing things, generally stuff that brands can use, but also some geeky stuff as well, because that's what we like to do. If you like the sound of that, give it a listen. And today, the first meme that we're going to talk about is the mentality edits.
Yeah.
This is the edit where it goes brrr, and then plays a clip, and then goes brrr, and plays like it's like a big bass sound effect. And I love it because it's so versatile.
Extremely.
So it can work TV show clips, film clips. It can work in real life if you're filming someone. It can be so useful and versatile for a brand to use as well if they have a good sense of humor. But the one I encountered the other day was SpongeBob, and it was called Squidward Mentality. And it was just Squidward getting pissed off at SpongeBob. And it was just such an easy way to just watch it for like a whole minute. I was like, yeah, I'm loving this.
I think I saw one with Squidward, but it was like mostly anti-work and corporate propaganda. I was like, fuck yeah, bro. But yeah, you're right. It is extremely versatile, and I'm trying to think of what's the ratio you get for those type of memes, because it seems to be quite an evergreen meme, similar to like core memes, I guess.
Sure, it's very cool.
Another episode, but like, what's the ratio you get between completely serious mentality ones and joke mentality ones?
I haven't seen any serious ones. Have you
Interesting, because I get at least half serious ones.
No way.
Mostly from sports, so NBA stuff, UFC stuff, even boxing stuff. They make those completely seriously because they're so quotable a lot of the times, because it's about sports mentality and all the rest of it. So different sides of the internet reveal different things. I think that came from David Goggins' memes and edits. So I think it was started as a completely serious trend, but it has that versatility to also be comedy.
Yeah, there we go.
Because the trend's been going long enough where it's gained self-awareness. So we're about 20 layers deep in Dante's Inferno here.
That's it. And I don't think, even though you said it's been around for a while, it's still being made new. Like, I've been watching. Yeah,
because you can make it fresh with anything. Yeah, that's what makes, like core memes, that the constant new players in the game keep it evergreen forever, which is, in theory, we'll see when it drops off. Yeah.
One of the ones I saw the other day, which was another way to kind of promote a separate product, really, or not product, a separate kind of piece of content. A podcast called the IMHO podcast. It's these two drag queens that are hilarious. Yeah. And they just chat bollocks, and it's so good. And one of them's called Derby, and it was just Derby mentality. And it was just these like excerpts from the podcast of Derby having these hilarious quotes.
Yeah.
But ultimately what it was a promotional video for the podcast.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like, there's some funny Squidward
made by
clips.
the podcast channel itself. Yeah,
it was their actual Instagram account, I think. They're probably on TikTok as well, but I saw it on Instagram, of Derby mentality, where it's these like little 3-second, 5-second, 8-second clips of Derby, funny quotes, and then brrr, sound effect, brrr, sound effect. And it just worked really well. It was like an entire promotional video.
I think that's at its best when someone has outrageous takes for podcasts and stuff like that.
Did I just hear that?
Yeah, you just supercut them together out of context, and then that's what makes it funny. As long as the quote is funny out of context. Yeah. Sometimes, because I see ones for Theo Von all the time, like where he just comes out with the things that always take you off guard. But then when they're in isolation like that, it makes them even funnier.
It's so poetic.
Yeah. But I mean, even on the poetic subject, the other dead serious one I saw recently was Muhammad Ali.
Oh, right.
When he was doing that promo where he was like,
the float like
I don't wrestle with an alligator, I don't tussle with a whale, I don't beat up lightning and throw thunder in jail. Like, and then it just cut to another one of his quotes. I was like, how the hell did he must have written that before he came in? Yeah. Never have we seen someone as poetic as Ali ever again.
Yeah. Well, I can imagine that working so well, especially because that bass sound effect has a bit of bite to it. Brr, like, fuck yeah, Ali.
I've seen it used politically as well.
Right.
I mean, politicians should be finding the things where they get the most fiery, and they should be using that.
Yeah, wow.
Like, I guarantee you could pull up some old Corbyn quotes, and they would go hard today, because a lot of what he said is aged very well. Like, you could easily find it.
Well, yeah, I can imagine that, there'd be many serious, like, I mean, when you open that door, like any kind of person trying to make a serious point, that was almost like a full stop. Any kind of political person, like you say, it's like a full stop at the end of their sentence. So I suppose, if you're a bit more boring, a bit more real life, like a brand, just someone who has a company, you want to promote it with this kind of mentality meme, then you can I suppose it would either rely on you already having like a podcast, already having videos that exist anyway, or you do some kind of, I don't know, it could be like a tour around your workplace and you just get a quote from each person. It's like a funny quote from each person. I don't know, that could be like a funny way of doing it. But yeah, it's a versatile style that as long as you've got individual moments on video, then would work for a brand.
I imagine if you did it in quite a mild-mannered, like, say if you did a standard corporate office tour, but with someone guiding around, but you use that to like break up different scenes, I can imagine it would be quite funny because no one would know why you're using such a serious edit. Like, hi, welcome to the office. This is Greg. He likes dogs. Like, and it cuts when it sounds like you said something hella serious, but really it's just not.
Yeah,
I can imagine that kind of
Deborah's on the
phone
or something.
Yeah. Every other week we put the rotor up here. Like, that would work.
Yeah, I want to watch this. Oh my God.
If you delivered it dry enough, and here's usually the problem is like, that sounds like a great idea. Who in the office wants to do it? Not me. Like, that's usually the problem every brand will face. So, like, if you have an internal advocate, if you have one of those golden people that's like, yeah, fuck it, I'll do it. Oh my God, give them a pay rise. Give me a little extra something to make videos for your company. Infinite profit, guarantee it.
Yeah, it takes that person to kind of be aware of the content, be aware of the style and the audience and the platform to be the first one.
Yeah, being self-aware is like, it's a rare skill these days.
Yes.
Also having the time to actually make that trend, because it seems simple.
Sure.
But then when you put it into executional terms, now we've got to do an office tour. Now I need someone to hold the camera. I also need someone to be the presenter. I need a microphone probably because people will put up with bad video quality, but they won't put up with bad audio quality. Yeah. So you have to fix that problem. Then you have to shoot it and put the time aside to shoot it with various blunders. Then you have to factor in editing time. Then you have to get it approved and signed off. Or when you put all the steps in there, you're like, oh. And you can see why so many brands have injunctions when it comes to making quick stuff like this. Because they're either not giving them the freedom, the resources, or the people, or a mixture of three.
It is a tight edit as well.
Yeah.
That video, there's a kind of like comedy to the edit. It needs to be very exact.
Yeah. Yeah.
It needs to be well edited, as opposed to some memes that we discuss. This is one that does actually require a bit of craft to it.
Yeah, because that idea could easily miss.
Yeah.
But it's about having that type of idea. It seems like it's going to work throughout the people you sense check it with, and then just go for it. So you can have that one. I'll give that to you for free. I
do want to watch this parody though. I want to make now. I don't know how we're going to do it, but I want to see a parody of
I feel like you'd have to nail
boring office.
The time would have to be UK office, you know, in terms of that. Just that silent moment before the buzz hits in. Like if you can get your real David Brent on, then it would work.
With a pause. I think it would work just to pause looking at camera and then the sound effect as well.
Yeah. Or you're like, who's that? The lady Audrey Plaza plays in is it Arrested? Not Arrested Development. It's what's the one with the guy who loves bacon?
Amy Poehler.
In the
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec, that's it. Yeah, the Ron Swanson show, because that's how I know it.
Yeah, the ultimate she's ultimate deadpan. Yeah, that's how
you need someone like her to do it. You could do it in a Ron Swanson, but you know those people aren't really knocking about in UK offices, I guess. So
true. No, very true. Well, the kind of other like marketing kind of perspective thing to discuss is ads, sadly, but then again, they do make our platforms go around. So
number two markets like ads, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's love and hate. But specifically Reddit ads. So Reddit, there's this trend. I don't know how long I think I've noticed it for a while actually, but Reddit ads from companies, they do have these kind of like stream ones where it's a block of graphic design that you scroll past. They also have text-based post ads where on your feed it will be formatted so natively, so well. It's almost sneaky, where an ad from a company will be formatted with like the square brackets, then it'll say guide, and then the square brackets, and it'll say here's how to ... And there's been so many where I've almost tapped because I've gone, oh no, wait, that's not a post telling me how to kind of like, install some kind of thing on a computer or whatever. It's like, no, that's just a company trying to sell me a new graphics thing. I don't know, whatever. And yeah, it's just interesting because it's not a bad thing because it does say promoted on it. It's not too sneaky. And
if you know where to look,
Yeah, and ultimately, if they are providing that information, then it's not sneaky. You know, it's not clickbait if they're actually providing information.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's one to look out for. Extra stuff to look out for.
Oh, 100%. And, you know, native advertising has been a term for quite a while. I'd say at least 5 years. But I think native advertising has changed the meaning of it is changed. So it used to be native advertising, try not to, let's say, go through third parties, for instance, or try to use formats that match the ad. So instead of posting a landscape video in vertical, post a full screen vertical, right? That's kind of what native advertising means. This is now the extra meaning of it, which is make ads that don't look like ads. And that's obviously, that's a big thing TikTok has done for a while. It's been always, don't make ads, make TikToks. But now you're seeing it in other places, aka Reddit. And the more that happens, the more it's actually being taken seriously. Because I think I mentioned in previous episodes, but our brains are trained to ignore ads as much as humanly possible, especially if you are chronically online like ourselves, or anyone. As soon as you notice it's an ad, even if it could help you, a lot of us go anyway. Like, a lot of people have a vindictive hatred towards advertising and companies.
Yeah.
So conquering it with native advertising, I'm not sure what we're going to call it these days, native squared, how that can help. However, I do think there's a fine line there, because some people may feel like they've been tricked into that click. So you might find that those ads do bring higher click-through rates, but what's the conversion rate and time on page on that?
Once it's been clicked, then it's got one of the highest bounce rates you can possibly imagine.
Exactly. So that's something to keep an eye out for from an analytics point of view. But I think the more native it looks, the more likely it's not going to be disregarded immediately. Yeah. Even if it's like how it's done again, which is why influencer marketing and influencer activations have always worked. Whether it be recognizable faces or the fact that influencer only knows how to post natively. So it gets the brand into posting natively, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We're layers deep now, but if that makes sense, it's just be careful you're not clickbaiting people. That's the only thing I'd say.
Yeah.
Because Reddit would easily be a place where people would be in uproar about that.
Yeah, sure. And from a kind of brand's perspective, if I'm putting an advert on Reddit, I'm going to try to make it clickable. It's just the natural way it is. I'm not going to decide to do, here's one of my generic graphic design pieces. It's a landscape. Yeah, I put that on a billboard the other day. Let's put it on Reddit too. No, I don't want to do that. I want to design an ad that is attention grabbing and clickable and actually feeds someone's desire when they see it, So there's two sides to it. We as brands, we want to do clickable in situ ads, but as viewers, we have that extra layer of being extra careful when we see a really in situ native one where we just go, that's a bit sneaky. Are you actually offering me something?
Yeah. I think there's a difference between sneaky and authentic.
Yes.
And I think it does depend on the type of ad, to be fair.
Yeah.
If it's, let's say, you're natively advertising a useful guide to something that has been searched by that user before, it may not seem as sneaky. So a lot of that is your targeting and distribution. I'm not as familiar with Reddit as I am with some other platforms. Are Reddit ads, are they outside of the karma system? Or can you still give up votes, downvotes to ads?
Good question. I don't think you can give up votes, downvotes to ads. I think
because you wouldn't think so, because otherwise every ad would be downvoted maliciously.
Of course, yeah.
But I think they're probably the best practice for, because obviously I do a lot of native Reddit, but not a lot of paid, is try and make an ad that would be karma positive. I guess.
Sure, yeah. I mean, that's the ultimate goal, really. Isn't it?
Yeah, and best way to do it is especially if it is a useful ad or an ad that actually answers a question. Does it work? Does it work organically?
Yeah.
Is your brand actually on Reddit?
Yeah, I suppose that's another question as well, isn't it? Another conversation. Sometimes the best ads to run are the ones that have already been proven as organic content. But yeah, no, that you can't upvote, downvote. So this civilization ad that we're looking at here is just 0 upvotes, 0 comments.
Yep.
But no, interesting. It was something that I definitely spotted where it was multiple more and more times, and I was going, that's another in situ ad. That's caught my eye.
Interesting.
Yeah, but no, from a brand's point of view, I mean, that's what we want to do. We want to do in situ clickable ads. So
yeah, I'm trying to think of, obviously, to recreate the look and feel via Reddit. Reddit has a very distinctive look, but I'm wondering what the best way to do that on ads, like on platforms like Facebook and Instagram. Like, apart from, because video is a lot easier. Because if a person appears in a video without you spotting the sponsored bit first, you will find out based on what that person says if it's an ad, unless you automatically know where to look, top left, bottom right, things like that. But how do you think you'd make ads more native on Instagram, Facebook, if we had to mock up a similar version?
Yeah, I suppose it would be looking at formats that a brand is already posting and are successful and just making one of them.
Yeah.
I know it's something that, not because I've been searching it, but there's a Bumble ad that comes up all the time. Have you seen it? And it's
I get Hinge ads all the time.
Yeah.
I've literally been off the platform for months, and it's a very happy relationship from Hinge. So thank you, Hinge.
Yeah. But no, I've literally never even downloaded it because I've been married for a bunch of time, and I've been with my wife before that for like 12 years, so I haven't even downloaded it. But anyway, my point is, there's like a classic
evidence.
Yeah, there's a classic Bumble ad of like just a guy kind of like going this in the mirror, but it's like a camera, not even a mirror. It's like looking at his camera, like front camera. He goes like this with his jacket like that. He goes like that, and then the kind of like music starts and it goes Bumble dot 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 dot. But it's shot like an influencer trying on clothes. Like it's a good example. It's like
I'm pretty sure
native one.
That is actually from a wider TV campaign as well. Okay. So they've obviously planned that campaign from an omni-channel point of view, so it had uses everywhere, which is bloody hard to do actually. If your omni-channel campaign is a mixture of above the line and below the line, like. So hats off to them for making it relevant enough. But as soon as you say kind of music kicks in and it was high quality, I'm guessing it wasn't phone quality.
No, it was phone quality. That's why I liked it, because it felt very native. It felt legit, just like an influencer trying on clothes.
Cool. Because I know I've seen a TV ad that looks very similar to that. Okay. So again, that's another layer of recreation. Yeah. I thought their error was going to be they're taking the high quality version, put it on there. I can tell that's extracted from a TV ad. They've actually done, they've gone a layer deeper. Good one, Bumble. Yeah, it was. That's something that was effective. Like this Reddit one. It was, they made it look like just an in-situ post. Yeah. Yeah, for text-based posts, however, it's a little bit harder. Or for image-based posts, sorry. The thing I've seen is most successful, at least with the Facebook and Instagram side, is as close as you can get to what looks like a news bulletin. That seems to be a successful format. Unfortunately, a lot of misinformation is spread this way, but it seems to be probably one of the most popular formats of images on there. Image up here, main bold text on the bottom with a slight hue behind it so you can read it. That seems to be a very successful format for both ads and organic content, because I see a lot of stuff there. Also, people can put whatever kind of headline they want on there, which is really annoying. Anyone who's familiar with obviously sports and like the trade deadlines between sports, it happens a hell of a lot of fake news will spread in those like news top text bottom text
because people click it, I guess, don't
they? I mean, some of them got me, and then you have to go to Google separately to check, and you're like, okay, he hasn't been traded, thank God. Or in the case that I had the other day, one of the best 3 basketball players on the entire planet was randomly traded to the LA Lakers out of nowhere.
Legit,
no one saw it.
Not just
legit.
But
I saw it on Instagram first. And I was like, fake news, clearly. And I saw another one. I was like, what? And I had to look it up, and it was just basically the shock of the NBA decade, really. Like, we're still waiting for the mystery to unfold there, but like that, I just had to bring that topically in because it was absolutely nuts. But don't want to get sidetracked, but yes.
Yeah. Well, it's scary, I suppose, isn't it? The matter of how deep and native and in situ we can get. Got to keep our eyes peeled.
And the amount of different checks you have to do to check if something's real or not. It's another scary thing.
That's it. Well, on to something more boring. Again, I just realised that the last episode was talking about boring video game stuff. We are again now. But Command and Conquer, representing Command and Conquer from back in the day. Yes, loved Command and Conquer. Yeah. It was one of my favourites from back in the day. So they released a new remastered version like a few years ago, and I just remembered this because it was so funny that they said, okay, remastered version. Anyone who knows Command and Conquer knows that there were these like original, very basic Head and Shoulders video clips of like a guy saying, "Commander, welcome back," ... and they're like, it's just a dude talking to the camera. Yeah. The remastered version came with that original footage, so you can see the green screen footage of this guy talking in front of the camera. And I was thinking, okay, that's well worth like a bit of extra money, especially because I'm into media and all that. I thought, okay, I'll spend the extra money for like the remastered version and get it. It was some of the most boring footage I've ever seen. It wasn't outtakes. It wasn't like, and cut. Oh, well done, Jerry. It wasn't even that. It was just an actor standing or sitting at a desk just reading these lines with a green screen behind them, like times 50. times however many like levels there are in the game. And I watched like 3 and I thought, well, this is the same thing.
How much extra did you pay for that?
Well, I can't remember. But like it was remastered, so it was like upgraded graphics and stuff. So it wasn't just like I'm paying for the footage. But yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was
so
like,
crazy. No one sense checked that. To be like, you couldn't even like pick the best moments. That should have just been something they gave away free for that.
Yeah, it should have. It should have. But it was funny because what obviously happened is like the studio, Westwood Studios, who then got bought by EA Games, I think. So EA purchased Westwood.
This makes so much more sense now.
Yeah, that's it.
So EA's behind a cash grab. Oh.
Yeah, I think EA had like all this extra footage lying around and thought, well, this has been around for 20 years. We're not using it. Let's just put it as part of the special edition. Let's find a way to monetize it.
Big hate to EA.
Yeah.
Ubisoft too.
Yeah. Common EAL. It was terrible. But no, it was like, yeah, it just reached number like 3 and I thought, wow, I don't want to watch any more of these. And I've been duped. But then I realized like, I haven't been duped because it's my own fault, you know. Like it's raw footage from the camera. Yeah, I don't know what I was expecting at all. It was like here's raw footage from the camera. Oh, that'll be interesting. No, it won't, George. You dumbass. It's raw footage from the camera.
Oh, your nerdness backfiring on you, my friend.
It did.
Absolutely cooked you there.
It did.
I can't even think of like a similar case of that happening.
No.
I think it's usually they release that kind of stuff on YouTube or something, and it gets like organic traction. Because I remember the first time I saw the one of the narrators from Halo doing the kill streak, the iconic kill streaks.
I don't know that
because I'd never put his face. Do you remember playing Halo 3? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like double kill, triple kill.
Oh, the voice.
Yeah, and the voice acting guy, because he's now on things like Cameo, which we talked about in a couple of episodes. But like the first time I actually put a face to the voice and just saw him in the booth, I was like, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, but unfortunately, this was not one of those times.
That's sad. It's the equivalent of like if you're watching a Netflix documentary or something, and there are moments when they start rolling the camera, but the dude is just sitting there doing this, like having his like hair fluffed, and then the director comes over and says, "Hi, we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, we're going to do this." Like, why would you want that footage? In my head, I wanted it. I was a dumbass. I was like, "Yeah, give me all those spares that didn't make it in," because I thought it would be cool, but it wasn't.
Were you hoping you were like going to find something that'd be like similar to the game,
or just like an outtake, just some funny moment?
Yeah, like the Shrek outtakes at the end, or like the end of a Jackie Chan movie. I love those. Bring those back, by the way.
Yeah, that would be good.
We need more like buddy cop martial arts movies, bro.
Yes. Yeah, make fake outtakes, please.
Yeah, who's going to be the next Jackie Chan, by the way? Who's going to fill them boots? Because I need another like comedy action star right now.
Yeah, someone who's been in like Marvel movies. I don't know.
I mean, come on, like the guy who plays Shang-Chi. Like, come on, we need to get the martial arts stuff in.
Yeah,
like,
cool.
It seems to be a big lack. Because I checked the cinema the other day to see what was worth watching. If we're talking on the subject of things worth watching, apart from maybe the new Captain America, which looks iffy at best.
It does.
And then the only good film that I can see, this maybe because I'm a big kind of Marvel nerd, is how good the new Fantastic Four movie will be. Okay. But that's like I think next year anyway.
Right.
But I don't know anything good that's coming soon.
No, Nosferatu I did watch. I loved
Nosferatu was apparently really good.
Yeah, I loved that.
Yeah.
But no, other than that, I haven't seen any trailers for stuff I want to watch either.
Yeah, and there's even if it's just give me like a low budget, funny action comedy.
Yeah.
Those used to be bread and butter. Where have they gone?
Yeah, you don't need big expensive stuff. Like you can have like cheap action that's funny.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be
the
huge.
Spy
explosions.
Next Door.
Yeah,
the Rush Hour series, like it was.
Oh my god,
banging.
Rush Hour. Yeah.
Maybe it's just the type of movies I want to see. Yeah. Like, there's no need to keep leveling up movies more and more. Like, leave that to Fast and Furious. Like, that's their shtick. Sometimes Bad Boys, but I'm not sure Will Smith or Martin Lawrence could do another one of them.
No,
I'm not sure I've seen the newest one either.
I saw the latest Bad Boys. I think it was deliberate, right? There's a moment where I've forgotten their names. Marcus and Thingy? Marcus? I forgot what their names are.
Hold on, I can hear them shouting at each other in my head. I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Will Smith.
Mike,
yeah. Well, anyway, I've forgotten who it is. But Will Smith asks Martin Lawrence to slap him.
Yeah.
And this was like 2 years after the Chris Rock thing, where Will Smith is saying to Martin, "Okay, slap me." And you can tell in the footage, Martin actually fucking slaps him. Like a real slap. And I'm thinking, This is a deliberate nod to the Chris Rock thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A lot of people still haven't forgiven him for that.
Yeah, sure.
I'm wondering how long it would take the internet to forget, but it was such an iconic moment. Unfortunately, I think it's going to follow him forever.
I think so.
You can't have that level of crash out and not expect it to be eternally televised.
It was mental.
Same as Kanye. His Twitter crash out the other day was absolutely phenomenal.
It was
like
great.
it's probably not appropriate to talk about the podcast, but like after he did that, he took every piece of merch off of his shop apart from the main shirt with the swastika on.
Yeah.
Like, bro, Kanye's eternally cancelled. Like the internet is now going into different theories that he's basically like a Moon Knight level entity where Kanye is in there somewhere, but Ye is out right now, and we've got to stop Ye to save Kanye. I'm like, the dude is a Nazi. Leave him alone.
Who knows?
It's actually insane.
It's hard to work out. I missed his music. That's the sad thing.
And I just the memes of just like people going, I can't defend him anymore, and then just like the argument that he made graduation, he just won't fly anymore. Oh, I love it. I'm not saying I'm enjoying the downfall, but I am, because all Nazis should get punched in the face.
Watching like a train crash from afar. It's like you got to
just so unnecessary. Yeah. They just come out of nowhere.
Yeah, terrible stuff. So that was a really nice way to end episode 9.
Yeah, some way to end episode 9.
Yeah, but that's cool. It's better than talking about like, boring footage in the back of the camera from Command and Conquer.
Labour did a new plan this year.
Yeah. So that was the Chronically Online Podcast, episode 9. Mm-hmm. If you like the sound of this, please subscribe or follow whatever platform you're on, because we're going to be coming more and more and more. My name is George. This is James, and we will see you next time.
See ya.